Okay, so right now something interesting is happening in the smartphone market. Prices are slowly going up, and because of that 30 to 35,000 rupee segment is becoming very important. And in between all of these launches, Vivo has introduced their major popular series, the T5 Pro. Now with offers, it is launched for 27,999. Now, Vivo T4 Pro from last year was a very solid phone, and at first glance you get a bigger 9020 mAh battery. So let's see what all you get this year in Vivo T5 Pro. Is it an upgrade? Also, we kept the phone running for the entire night just to see, does bigger battery mean better battery life? Pratik, TechWiser, let's go. So it comes in this white box. Inside you get pretty much everything. There's the 90-watt charger. Also, there's a pre-applied screen protector on the phone. And last time I asked about unboxing, so you guys said a quick glance or key things are enough. Noted, that's how we will do it. Also, this video is made in collaboration with Vivo, so we'll be talking about the specs and our testing. Now, before we get to the major battery drain test, here are 4 interesting things about this phone that you should know. Starting with the design, it looks quite different this time. Like, it has this unique looking camera module on the corner, and see, you get the shiny finish at the back. Now we have this glacier blue color, and if you want a more neutral color option, there is another cosmic black as well. Coming to the in-hand feel, the moment you hold the phone, it feels more squarish and you get these rounded corners. And since it has a flat frame, so the phone can stand, hold on, please do.
One eternity later.
It can stand on its own. By the way, the frame and back are both made up of polycarbonate. Now, thanks to that polycarbonate back and frame, despite having a massive 9020 mAh battery, it still weighs in around 215 grams, which is a pretty manageable weight. It also has an IR blaster on the top, so you can control your TV, AC, and even sometimes in funny situations, like if you go to the ATM and the AC is off, you know what to do. That is #social service. Now, build-wise, it comes with the IP68 plus IP69 rating. So from water splashes to heavy water jet scene, it can handle all of that. Now, the next interesting thing here is the display. It comes with a 6.83-inch AMOLED display with up to 144 Hz refresh rate. Also, the display gets bright enough, so booking cabs or using maps outdoors under direct sunlight isn't a problem. And one thing with the display that you would immediately notice is the bezels are very thin, so it feels quite premium from the front. And in our usage of watching a lot of content, the display seems very good. The color, sharpness, everything here is on point. Having said that, there is one small limitation. It does not support HDR on Netflix, but there's support for HDR10 plus for offline videos and HDR on YouTube. Now, what elevates the content watching experience here are the speakers. Like, it comes with dual stereo speakers, and hold on. Also, there is an option in UI that shows 200% volume, and in calls, the volume can go up to 300%. Now see, it definitely makes the volume louder, but it's not 200%. Now, let's talk about the performance. It comes with the Snapdragon 7S Gen 4 chipset, and in benchmarks, first we ran the Antutu, and this is how much you get. Next, we ran the CPU throttling test, and there was no overheating as such. You can see the graph is all green. But numbers aside, how does it perform in real life? Well, in our day-to-day usage, the phone feels very smooth. Switching between apps or using 2 apps side by side in split screen won't be a problem. Like, I watched the entire RCB versus LSG match like this while also scrolling through X at the same time, and it didn't lag or anything. We even pushed the phone further with gaming. In BGMI, it supports 90 FPS. In our 30 minutes of gameplay, we got an average of 77 FPS, which is decent. We didn't face any lag or crashes. Plus, it doesn't get too hot because it comes with a dedicated vapor cooling system, which as per Vivo is the largest vapor cooling chamber. And during our gameplay, the max temperature that it reached was around 35 degrees. Now, moving on to the software, the Vivo T5 Pro is running on OriginOS 6 based on Android 16. And honestly, OriginOS is getting really good. Not because it looks more refined and polished, but also has really smooth animations. And on top of that, it's actually loaded with a lot of useful features. Starting with Origin Island, this is basically a smart notification hub at the top. So if you're playing music or running a timer, you can see everything right there without opening an app. It also has features like drag and go. So suppose you find a cool wallpaper on Instagram. Now, normally you would just take a screenshot, crop it, and then save it. But here, you can just drag the image and it gets saved directly to your gallery. And this next feature, I would really like other Android skins to copy. In OriginOS, you get this option called blank data authorization. So if you enable this for some apps, when they try to access your contacts or SMS, it will just send blank data. This is good for privacy reasons as well. Like, if you have a Vivo phone or an iQOO phone with OriginOS, please turn this on. And not just that, it has some practical AI features, like in the album, I can erase unwanted objects, adjust the colors, etc. Now, while all of this is good, you also found some pre-installed third-party apps. Now you can go here, and uninstall them. There is also an apps and games folder which you can just go here and disable it. Now in terms of software update, you will get 3 years of OS update and 5 years of security updates. Now coming to the main highlight of this phone, it comes with a massive 9020 mAh silicon carbon battery. Now you might be thinking, I've heard this 9000, 10,000 number. How long does it last? 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours? So we went all in. We did a battery drain test to 0%. So first we charged the phone to 100% and kept the conditions similar to real life usage. Just one thing to note here, we didn't insert a physical SIM card in this. Now to simulate gaming and heavy performance, we ran Antutu 3D Mark and CPU throttling continuously for 3 hours. And after all of that, this is like a very heavy task. In reality, if you even game for so many hours, the phone will not consume so much power. So the battery dropped only 30%, which came down to 70%. Next, we did some real life gaming. We played BGMI for 1 hour and it lost just 12%, dropping to 58%. And by this point, it got late at night. So we left the phone to check overnight battery drain, and by the next morning it had dropped only 3%, coming down to 55%. Then we moved to more casual usage. We watched a full 2-hour Netflix movie and battery just dropped by 9%, reaching 46%. This was getting very tiring. After that, we recorded 4K video from the front camera for 1 hour and then scrolled Instagram reels for another 2.5 hours. And in the entire process, it dropped 28%, bringing it down to 18%. It was still going strong. That's why we stressed it more. Lastly, we ran the 3D Mark bench test back to back, and after 1 hour of continuous 3D Mark test, the phone finally died. In total, it lasted 10 hours and 36 minutes. And fun fact, this is the winner of our battery drain test. Lastly, we did a battery drain test with the Honor Win RT, which had a 10,000 mAh battery, and that lasted for only 10 hours 35 minutes. So this actually beat a phone that has 10,000 mAh battery by a minute. Now overall, the conclusion here is we keep hearing battery optimization and all of that, but when you expand the capacity of the battery by so much, it will definitely beat a 5000 mAh battery. And you can see here the optimization is also good. It does behave like a 9000 mAh battery. Now in terms of charging, the phone supports 90 watt fast charging. You can top it up to 1 hour. Not just that, it also supports reverse wired charging. So in case of emergencies, this phone can easily charge a MacBook Neo or another phone as well. Now let's talk about the cameras, or camera. It comes with a single camera. In daylight, the photos come out pretty decent. It captures good colors. Even if you zoom in a bit, the details are decent here. Now, while clicking portrait shots, it tries to add a bit of extra sharpness to the photo, but the edge detection in portrait photos has been on point, and you can click up to 2x in portraits. For selfies, it has a 32 megapixel front selfie camera, and the selfies come out sharp with natural colors. Now, coming to video recording, the phone can record in 4K 30 FPS from the rear as well as the front, and you can have an idea of the video quality as well as stabilization here. Overall, if you see in terms of camera, there's not much options here, but whatever you get does a good job, but it is not a very camera centric phone. So yeah, after using the phone for a while, what I realized is it's not overdoing things, not throwing crazy claims like battery monster or performance monster. It just focuses on getting the basics right. Whether you're gaming casually, watching content, or just using it throughout the day, it handles everything comfortably. Plus, with the optimized battery, it's a very dependable phone. Because this is where Vivo has actually done a really good job. What would have made it even better is if they would have added a ultra wide angle camera. Now, in terms of pricing, the T5 Pro starts from 29,999, but with offers and discounts, it is priced at 27,999. The phone is already live on Flipkart and Vivo's website. You can check that out. Let us know if you want us to do a best smartphone under 30,000. Like, we'll do that. On that note, this is signing off. See you in the next video. Pew pew pew.